The battle.
Hi, we're live.
Hi. We've been out for a little while, so thank you for waiting for us, our one subscriber. Hi, Abner.
Hi, Abner.
We are back this week. Little different format. We actually have a concrete topic that we talked about, and we're gonna make this work. We're gonna keep it short and sweet and inspirational and all that fun stuff. Okay? So what's the topic this week?
The topic is about finding and keeping inspiration, and I think that it fits very well, seeing that Dr. Maya Angelou just recently died, and she's inspired many of people, including myself.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's and Oprah. I mean, gosh, she was like showing all her Maya Angelou clips for like an entire week.
Um,
Um, and some of her quotes she still talks about. My favorite one being, when someone shows you themselves, believe them the first time.
yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I like things like that. She has inspired me, and I think this is a great topic to talk about, kind of like in memoriam
Yeah.
of Dr. Maya Angelou. So.
Okay. So finding and keeping inspiration. Where do you find your inspiration? How do you get inspired?
Well, I am kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm a Cancer, but I kind of just go with my emotion. So when I feel something, I just do it.
Hmm.
And it really is just the way that I get inspired. Like everything, including my dissertation topic, including deciding to lock my hair to go natural. Um, all of these things were just, something popped into my head, and I just decided that that's what I want to do. And it can be anywhere. It's usually, I like to take a lot of long walks. I don't do it as much because I live in the suburbs and I don't necessarily have to walk around places because I have to take a car to get everywhere. But when I used to live in the city, I used to do a lot of walking, and that's when I used to get inspired. It helped me clear my mind and gather my thoughts. And I've learned that sometimes I just have to listen to that voice inside of my head. And because when I don't listen, shit hits
Happen.
the fan. Shit hits the fan. It does. Like, and then I go back and I'm like, damn, I really should have done what I said I was going to do. That was consistently in my head because now I'm in the middle of big doo doo. Um, so yes, I know. So I've learned to just go with my inspirations, especially if it's something that keeps pressing on my mind. And I've been having a lot of inspiration lately, maybe because I've been working out more and my brain is clearer or whatever. So I'm constantly busy this last couple of weeks since school ended. But I that's my number one thing about inspiration. Like just listen to the voice inside of your head. Listen to your body and listen to that voice. That voice. That tiny voice that's inside your head that says, "Do this." As long as it's not illegal.
Eh, you can get around illegalities.
I mean, as long as it's not illegal and hurting people.
Okay, yeah. Don't hurt people.
Yeah. If your voice inside your head is telling you to shoot and kill people,
No, no, no,
don't
no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
don't
that.
listen. Don't say that I told you to. Okay.
Don't do
Don't
that.
listen to the crazy voice inside of your head. Listen to the smart voice
Logical voice.
that tells you to do good things,
Uh,
not murder to kill.
yeah, yeah. No, for me, it's kind of the same. Like if my mental space isn't clear, I can't really create. I am a visual person though. So depending on what I'm needing inspiration for, like for the house, like I'm painting, I'm decorating, I need to see things. So Pinterest is cool, but I go to houses, I go to magazines, I look at different things, and I can pull inspiration from those things and then put my own stamp on it, find my own twist. If it's writing or something that's intellectual, I need a clear mind, which means I have to work out. I gotta do something that like literally tires my body out so that my mind is clear. I have to start my day off right. Like my bed has to be made.
Yeah,
That's
I am one of those also.
if my bed is not made, like I'm kind of fucked for the whole day. Like I just coming home even from a messed up day and your bed is made, there's something about it. It's just like, well, one thing went right today. If everything else went wrong, at least your bed is made. You get to pull the sheets back, climb in. You're not climbing into a jumble of sheets and chaos. Like to continue the
Yeah.
I I also pray a lot more constructively. Before I used to do the like now I lay me down to sleep, and that, you know what I mean? Like you learn it when you're a little kid, but look, I am grown individual.
I love
And just say, oh, watch over my mom, my dad, my sisters, my friends, and bye.
it. I understand what you're talking about.
It's being like superficial. Like I go deeper. Like I think about what I already have because sometimes I feel like we think we need all this stuff and that blocks inspiration because we're frustrated by not realizing what we already have. So like think about what you have, say thank you. Like I say thank you. And I'm like, all right, well, where do I want to go from here? Like what do I need help with? What am I struggling with? And I get inspiration from that. Just like sometimes you kind of feel like you're talking to yourself. Um, and sometimes you need that. I also talk to myself, not just pray.
I also talk to myself in all kinds of public places.
One earphone. We talked about this. Like I put one earphone in
Yes,
when I'm driving, and then I just
I act like I'm singing in my car, but I'm really just talking out stuff like, yeah, I need to go to Home Depot and buy something. I know you watching me, but I'm not listening to the radio.
out. Like it's things become clearer when I can just like kind of stream of consciousness, things like that. When it comes to inspiration to like keep going or just I guess motivation more so than inspiration. Like I go and think back to the dark places that I've been at and I'm like, well shit, it's not gonna get any worse than that, so you better keep going. Like I mean it sounds bad and kind of morbid, but the dark days do help you because it shows you what you're made of.
Yes, and it's something that my mother always says. There's always a rainbow or silver lining after every storm,
Uh-huh.
and I absolutely do believe that. Even recently, when I was just really super anxious and depressed, connected to what I wanted to do with my life, and having been in grad school for freaking ever, and feeling at the end of it like, okay, this is it. Like, I don't think I want this.
Yeah.
And it being such a hard decision to think that I went through all that, and then at the end of it, I did not want that pot of gold. So what I took from that is just just listening to myself and listening to what exactly makes me happy. And I think I had to go through that to understand what that is.
Hmm.
And I'm 10 times happier now, even though I'm currently in the job pool.
But that's fine. Like that whole idea of like finding it and keeping it is a process. Like you have to go through some things. You got to go to some dark places sometimes to find what is going to be that thing that makes you tick. And then to keep it, you have to keep plugging at it. You have to keep working at it, keep building it, keep growing it, keep nurturing it. It's like a garden. You don't water your garden. You don't give it soil, compost, tend to it, keep the weeds out. It's gonna die. You gotta tend to it. Have good people around you, people who inspire you. Like, you don't need to get a 10-minute lecture every day, but maybe you have somebody who just sends you a text and it's like, hey, how's it going? Or, oh man, that's really cool. Or, you know what I mean? Like, just little
Yeah.
to let you know that yeah, you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing. Not every day isn't gonna be rainbows and butterflies and shit, but have good people around you, have a good circle, have people who you can have good conversations with who can you can bounce ideas off of instead of just yourself and your earphone.
Yeah, so I mean, and that goes back to just listening to yourself. So if you feel like certain people are toxic, or you just, for some
Cut
reason
them out.
you just like for some reason you like get that feeling like I really just don't want to hang out with this person right now, or they kind of annoy me a bit, or this job really just I hate having to come here, and why is it that I'm procrastinating on this one thing, and You know, what is it about it that, you know, is making me detract away from it? Just what is that energy? Once you figure that out, it opens up a whole lot of avenues. So even with my own writing, I was trying to figure out what about it was keeping me from it, and I think it was so many other people's voices about what I had to put in there and what they were expecting and all this other stuff that made me not even want to touch it because
It wasn't yours anymore.
it felt like it wasn't mine, and it felt like super pressure to kind of live up to their standards and not necessarily what I wanted to put out in the world, what I wanted to get across. And once I got past that whole, like, I really don't really care about what your opinions are. I mean, yes, criticism is great, and I do appreciate it, but not to the point where you make me not like my own work.
Yeah,
Um,
especially with the dissertation, like you have to love what you do because you are with it a long time.
Yes, exactly. So now that I don't have that, and it's kind of just like, okay, what is it that I want to say here? Like, it's so funny that I was going through this last chapter and then realized that when I was reading through it, that this section that was like all the way towards the end, I really wanted it to be in the beginning, and it was the main purpose of this chapter in the first place, instead of all these other things that people were asking me about that I started throwing in there, and then you're like, this is not a complete paragraph. Like, where's the rest of the supporting evidence? But it's like, I put that in there because you asked me, not because that's what I wanted to write about, and that's why there's holes in it, because I can't fill holes from something that I don't have. Like, I can't answer a question that I don't have the answers to.
But that's part of the process, like learning to, like a lot of times you hear the voice and you ignore it, but learning to actually listen to and trust that voice is a big, big deal. And it takes a long time. Like I get those like literally like shouting in my ear, like, don't do that. No,
Yeah.
you should try this. Like, no, don't, that's not a good idea. And sometimes just like, oh, maybe I'll try it anyway. No, listen to your gut. You have a gut for a reason. You have instincts for a reason. You have adrenaline for a reason. All
Yes.
those things are there.
Listen to all that stuff. Listen to the bells and the whistles
See
and the
the
fireworks
flag.
and the butterflies in your stomach and, you know, all of those things.
Yeah, there's good anxiety, but like you should be able to discern the difference between the two, you know? Like anxiety that's destructive and anxiety that's like, oh wow, you're starting something new. It's kind of exciting. You're like, yeah.
Yes, that is good anxiety, not the kind of anxiety that you feel like maybe you can't sleep and you gain 20 pounds and your hair might fall out and turn gray. I'm not about that life.
Mm-mm.
And now I'm trying to
Yeah.
lose 20 pounds gained from stress and anxiety. And I never want to go through that ever again to where I'm in some kind of situation where I would gain weight and my body would change from, you know, this kind of type of stress. Like, you can be busy and do a lot of and be very, very productive without being super stressed out.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that I'm listening. Like I said, as I was saying earlier, like, you know, ever since I started, you know, figuring out what I actually really want to do, and I started working out again, my brain has just been going on fire. So I have like 15,000 projects going on at the same time, and I literally pass out twice a day, either in the middle of the day or at the end of the day, because I'm just running around doing things. I freaking organized a shed outside in one day, and then organized my brother's room and the closet.
Yeah.
I completely decluttered, rearranged his room, and now it's more efficient. It looks better, and he likes it.
Yeah.
And I actually taught him a system of how to stay organized. So I made him do the work, but I was I was the one that was in charge of this organization project, and I still have plenty of things going on, and I'm doing all these odd jobs at the same time. But I love it. I'm just happy the way it is, and even though I'm running around all day long, just exhausted.
But you have to keep yourself stimulated. If that is what keeps you going, if that keeps you inspired, like what to me, I'm just like, I'll give you an hour or two, and then I got to move on.
Yeah.
If your calling, that is what works for you, then you go with it. Like, it's not going to work for everybody else. Like, I could spend all day just reading and writing about my thoughts. Like, that would be I actually like. No, it sounds bad, but like I actually
Those
enjoyed the time that I
schizophrenic
had to.
thoughts, I don't know about that.
No, I enjoyed the time I had to write my dissertation. Like I loved it. I was like, I just have to read. I can go. I get up and I go to the gym. Then I take a shower and I go to the library and I stay at the library for like 6 hours and I write in the library and then I go home and I write some more. This is amazing. Like that works for me. Like I like things that are in my head. I like logical things. I like intellectual things. I like to take things like through levels. Like that is cool to me.
Yes, and that, I mean, again, that goes back to listening to yourself. Listen to your body. Listen to the things that you want and not necessarily want or think that you should want, because you're ultimately going to be unhappy if you're living
Yes.
someone else's life.
Somebody else's dream. There you go. We just finished each other's sentence. Huh. If you try to
Yes, we
live
did.
someone else's dream, then you you can't do that. That's not how life works. Like listen to your gut, live your life, live your dreams. The
And
rest
write it all down.
yeah, everything else will fall into place.
Everything will fall into place. Everything will work out by God's grace. All will be well.
Yes, and
And
it's not going to happen overnight. That's the other thing. I think some people get confused. Like, well, I'm living my dream, and now it's tomorrow. Why don't I have everything? Because you got to work at your dream. Dreams are still work. I mean, it just doesn't feel like work because you like what you're doing.
yes, and I think that's probably the best place for us to stop there. I don't want to go on too long, but um, if you guys have any questions or want to just continue this conversation about getting inspired, how to stay inspired, and what do you do when you feel like you're in a dark hole or in a rut.
Or the dark place, just a dark place in general, like dealing with depression or falling into depression. Like that's a serious thing.
Those are all serious things that I can talk about personally that um, you kind of can lose your inspiration and your brain literally stops working. Like my brain literally stopped working for several months. And now that it is working, it's kind of like crazy. It's like kind of like seeing,
Worse.
like it's like all of a sudden it was dark and then someone put a battery in and it's just like firing. Like, oh my gosh, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do this, you want to do that, do this. So yeah, there's all these different things. So if you guys want to talk more about it, please, you can tweet us, you
Yeah.
can email us, and we definitely would like to hear from you guys. Leave comments, like it, share it, and I think we will see you guys. We will definitely see you guys next week.
Yes. Maybe tomorrow, because I'm off tomorrow, so we could do some things tomorrow.
Well. Okay. So for y'all who want to know, once Aisha is not working for the
I'm a teacher, so I have summers off. Make it sound like I'm just like
she's
this
with
doesn't work.
school in and out. So we're gonna try to be a little bit more consistent. So stay tuned, and we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Bye.